People wonder why things cost so much in Canada, and I had to order a part for my broken Liftmaster Garage Door opener. I couldn't believe what the shipping charges were to get the part from the States. Check this out. You won't believe it. So I'm going to be off a bit of a rant today, and I'm going to be throwing Liftmaster and Chamberlain under the bus, and maybe the entire U.S. administration, because that's the excuse that I got. But let's take a look at something here. My garage door opener, the gear sheared off, the little gear that's on top here. That little gear sheared off, and the chain fell off. So I go to Liftmaster's site, and I look up the cost of the part is $20.68. I thought, wow, okay, that's not bad. Let's add it to my cart, and let's buy the part. So go to the checkout. And I have to go down here and click on checkout. And then I got to go and put in my email address. So let's do that. You guys are going to be really interested in what we find here. Watch this. So I put in all the required information. And I click on checkout. And here is what it comes to. $74.32. $20.68 for the part. $45.68 for delivery charges, and $7.96 for the tax, for a total, as you can see, of $74. I thought, well, this is a load of crap. I have a U.S. address. Let's go to the U.S. site and see how much it is to have it shipped to my address in Washington State. So here's the part. $16.16 US. Let's add it to the cart. Okay, so far so good. I've got 3 different delivery options. Ground delivery 5 to 7 days for $7.27. 2-day delivery for $13.71, or next day air for $22.94. Let's pick the cheap option, $7.27. So here it is to ship it to my US address, $25.42. Anyway, I figured, okay, I'll go this route. I will buy it from the US site. And then the problem started. You see, I went to put my credit card number in, and it would not accept my credit card because it would not allow me to select. It says ship to the address listed, or ship it to or your billing address is an alternate address. So I clicked my billing address as an alternate address, and I tried to put my real address in, except for it would not accept Canada. It would only accept an American U.S. address. I thought, that's kind of odd, so I phoned them up. I talked to a nice fellow on the phone who was no help whatsoever. Because after he tried to jump through all the hoops to allow me to order this part, he put me on hold for about 15 minutes. Well, then he comes back and he says, unfortunately, I can't sell you the part. I said, pardon? He says, you have to order it from the Canadian site. I said, yeah, but I don't want to get raped of $45 shipping. Because I'm 2 miles further north than this address in the States. So I said, $7 shipping versus $45 shipping for 2 miles difference? I said, no way. I have all my stuff sent to the States. He says, well, we can't do that anymore because, and this is a quote, the current administration has changed the way that they do business for taxes, and that it is illegal for him to ship the item to an address that was different than the credit card. It has to be the same address. It has to be the same location, registered in the same location. And if I had an American credit card registered at an American address, then I could order it this way. But because my credit card was from Canada, I would have to order it from the Canadian site. Remember the price of that one. So here was the price of the part again, $74.32 to order the part from Liftmaster. Okay, now, then the guy says, well, you can try contacting one of the Canadian dealers and maybe they'll sell you the part. And that's exactly what I did. As you can see, here's the gear kit. Here's the invoice. With tax, I paid $56.67. That's taxes in. Picked up in hand. $18 cheaper than ordering it right from the manufacturer just due to their inflated shipping charges. There's no way that that should have had that kind of shipping charges on it. Also, notice the tax that they were going to charge, $7.96 tax. Well, in reality, I only paid $6.07 tax. So what they were doing was they were charging GST and PST on the freight charges on top of the part. Unbelievable, huh? I mean, it's you think if you went right to the manufacturer and ordered something right from the manufacturer that you're going to save money rather than buy it at retail. But as you can see, at retail, it was almost $20 less. That's my rant for this. Now let's go put the parts in and fix my garage door. So I got the crane up as high as it can go. I have my system unplugged. The big cable you see there is actually for the big old work light that sometimes I turn on. We won't be doing that today, and I'm going to have to remove the cabinet. Now I've already got the screws out of it, so let's take the unit apart. Gotta do this from a ladder, so sorry about the audio, but I'm away from the microphone. So I've already removed and loosened the screws so I can take the unit apart. One more screw. Okay, there's the cover. This is going to be a dirty job. We're going to take the control board, we'll get it out of the way, unplug it. There's two plugs that hold it in place. I can just take the control board and kind of move it out of the way here. Okay, so I got a 5/16 socket with a nut driver and an actual ratchet. We're going to remove this. The first thing we need to do is I need to remove this little clip. It's a little plastic clip here which holds this gear in place, and it just snaps off. Somehow it comes off. Just like that, and then this gear is going to pull down. So I've removed that gear comes out, and then I should be able to just remove the three bolts that hold the gear assembly in place. So I can get at two of them with a nut driver. And the third one I'm probably going to need my ratchet because of just where it's located. There's the second one. I can pull off the optical sensor. It just pulls straight off. That's used to detect the speed, and this can be taken off just so it doesn't get damaged. This just spins, and there's a photo interrupter there. So I'm just going to remove that so it doesn't get damaged as I work at removing the bolt using a wrench. Okay, the bolt is out. There's the sheared off bearing cap. And the whole shaft should just lift right out of here, which it does. Lift straight through the top. Look at all the crap that all the metal filings and stuff from the old gear, stuff that wore, and dried grease. It had that molybdenum black grease on it, it looks like. Anyway, that's all over the place now. Let's get the new gear kit. To change the worm gear, I can do it anyway. I've got it here. I need a 3/8 socket and a 1/8 inch Allen key. The 1/8 inch Allen key is to remove the end from the end piece from the bearing or from the motor shaft here. So we just release the screws here on this. There's two of them. And then the bearing cap should come off. There's also a spring washer in here too. Once I have these loose, something to tap with. Easier said than done, because the two Allen keys had actually burred right into the shaft. Shouldn't have to take them out all the way, but it appears to be sticking. It was a challenge to get this off, because it was frozen to the end of the shaft. It's been here for 15 years, right? So it was a bit of a challenge to get this piece off. Oh, it's because it's burred. Damn it. Burred off, so we're going to have to work with this a bit to get this loose. There we go. Okay, that piece is now released. Should be able to remove the 3 washers that are in here next. There'll be another bushing here, I think that's got to come out. Of course, the burrs on here are going to kind of mess this up. I may have to file these down a bit. I'm going to take this optical sensor out of the way, get it out of the way so it doesn't get damaged. Get that out of the way. Loosen off the bolts for the motor. Or the nuts, I should say, for the motor. This is why I didn't want to take this off. It's because I knew that there would be problems with the burrs that are on this thing from the lock screws that were in there. Several minutes later, I managed to get that thing off. Let me grab a file and file off those burrs before I put it back together, because it's just going to make it a little easier to try and put that thing back together. Okay, now I can pull the motor back now, slip the old worm gear off. It might be easier if I just take the whole motor down. much easier with the motor actually removed. I'm gonna put it back in place here just to hold it in place so I can go and get the new gear. We'll clean that motor shaft up a bit too, because it is a bit chewed up from the set screws. And that's why it was kind of sticking. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to get my file up there and clean up that motor shaft a bit. Okay, got the new worm gear. I cleaned up the motor shaft to get the burrs taken care of. Slide the new gear onto the motor shaft. Place the shaft back into the chassis. And reset the motor. And now I can attach the nuts to hold the motor in place, and then we'll put a new bearing on. Incidentally, I've never done this before. And I haven't even looked at the instructions that came with it. I'm sure there's probably some safety things I'm missing here, but... Oh yeah, unplug it, that's right. Unplug it before you work on it. That's the first one. Other than that, this is pretty straightforward. Reattach the motor. And place the new bearing cap on, and it comes with even new Allen screws. There is a lower bearing as well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to change that one because it's pressed in, so I don't know if we'll get that one out, but it looks to be okay. There are two bearings that come in the kit. Only one of them has got the notch on it. That's the one that goes in the back of the motor assembly. The other bearing that doesn't have the notch, that's to replace this one here, but it doesn't appear to be worn on my unit, so I'm not going to replace it. Goes on like that. Next is the compression washer. There's 3 parts to it. So the compression washer consists of 3 pieces that go on. That piece, the compression spring part of the washer, and then the outside of the washer. And these go on. Spring washer goes on like this with the shiny one. The inside portion goes back like that. And then we've got comes with a new retainer. Push this one on. We're just going to take our motor slack out of here, bring our motor shaft forward. It's important to bring the motor fully forward. Press the spring slightly and tighten down. Next is the new main gear, And it comes with a new gear to drive the stop, the lift position gear. So again, we're going to take that clip off, the new clip, and the new gear. We're going to drop the new one through from the top. Actually, I should make sure, oh, I got to make sure that the screws are threaded first. Let me just run the bolts through and thread, otherwise I'm going to be struggling with it. They're not pre-threaded, so I have to run the 3 bolts through. Okay, I've threaded the 3 bolts, they're self-threading bolts, into the cover, so the holes are now tapped. Drops in place just like that. We'll line up the holes with the mounting holes. I'll line up the threaded portion of the new gear with the existing holes. Then I can put the 3 screws back in. There is a right way and a wrong way. Make sure that the 2 square cutouts are facing straight ahead and back towards the back of it. That's what the chain guard snaps into. So make sure your alignment is correct for the 2 square cutouts. One will be facing directly to the back and one directly out the front. If you put it on wrong, you're going to take it all apart again and rotate it. Put the new gear on the bottom. Put the clip in. This is a new gear and a new clip that came with it. We'll put the sensor back on here. That spins as the unit operates to make or break the light passing through the optical sensor. That's how it tells how fast it's turning. These are the sensors to adjust the end stop for door up and door down. Now I'll put some grease on the gears. Now don't put too much on it, it'll get worked in. Too much grease. Bearings. Too much grease is worse than not enough, but we'll grease the bearings and the gears. Now note, I've put the chain on now just to check it for tension, but I got to take it off because I do have to synchronize this, so I'm going to have to run it all the way to the end and back so that I know where the end position is on the chain, right? Because when the gear broke, the door was mid-travel, and of course the motor kept turning until it got to the end of its travel, so the timing is all out of whack. So I got to time it in a minute, but we'll get the thing back together first and then we'll do that. But the chain's going to come off again in a minute. I just put it on for fit right now. Okay, we'll plug the power board back in, the control board. So what I got to do first is, because I don't know, the chain came off while it was closing, so I have to cycle the door all the way down and then all the way back up so that I can put the chain on with the door open. I forgot about that. So I hit the button. It'll complete the down cycle. I guess closing the door. And then we'll do the open cycle. Okay, now with the door open, I'll unplug it so that it can't operate. With the door open, I should be able to pull the chain on and just pull my slack out of the chain. And it should be roughly close. Okay, there's too much slack in there obviously now. Let's take the slack out of the chain and then it should be ready for testing. Fingers crossed, it should be ready for testing when I take the slack out of the chain. Okay, chain is reattached. The slack is taken out of it. I may have to adjust my up and down settings, but I haven't touched them yet, but let's see what happens. Perfect. It's going all the way down. And that is how you change the gear set in a Liftmaster by Chamberlain garage door opener. Save yourself a huge service call. It was a kind of a pain in the ass to change the gears just to get in there, because maybe if I didn't have a work table right directly below the garage door opener, I could get at it and work on it. Plus the fact that I was trying to film this, so I had the camera. I had to keep on away of the camera so you could see what I was doing. But you know, it took me a couple of hours start to finish to replace the parts. Not that difficult. You can do it. The adjustments on here, if for example, if my door setting was too low, for example, if I just give this, I'll just give this a little bit. I'll give it 2 turns. It'll probably come back up now. You got 2 settings. Counterclockwise plus pushes the door down further, and clockwise are up, raises the door up a bit. This is your door down, and this is your door up adjustment. And that's the only thing you may have to adjust. There we go. And my door is going all the way down. And it's not opening again because it's not hitting the end stop. That's how you do it. This video has probably gone on too long. But again, parts are kind of expensive if you're in Canada, because we get kind of hosed by the fact that we can't have the parts sent to us at a reasonable cost, because we get basically bent over and given it up the behind on shipping to Canada. But buying one of these things, buying the parts kit at your local retailer is cheaper than ordering the part direct from Liftmaster if you live in Canada. If you live in the States, it's cheap. $16 for the kit, $16.16 and $7 shipping anywhere in the States. But in Canada, that $53 in charges that they charge just to ship it to us here. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, my garage door is fixed. Now I can get on with everything else that's been put on hold while I was fixing this thing. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one real soon. Bye for now.